The GameCircle experience on Kindle Fire is now available on all Android devices, making it possible to include the GameCircle API in games you sell on any Android marketplace, including the Amazon App Store. GameCircle is free and provides everything you need to implement saved game syncing, achievements, and leaderboards. In this presentation, I'll explain what the Amazon GameCircle API comprises, how to set up your development environment, incorporating GameCircle into your project, and troubleshooting common issues. At the end, I'll also list several developer resources where you can obtain additional information. GameCircle includes achievements, leaderboards, and WhisperSync services, making it simple and quick for developers to integrate features to increase engagement, offering players a seamless in-game experience. GameCircle stays in the background until a customer needs it. There are no splash screens as a game loads, and you control which GameCircle game events a customer sees. GameCircle provides 3 key features to developers. Up to 50 leaderboards may be added to a game by default. Each leaderboard displays daily, weekly, and all-time scores. Similarly, GameCircle supports up to 100 achievements in a single game by default, including hidden achievements that aren't visible until unlocked. Finally, WhisperSync for Games provides local and cloud save and synchronization for game data. Developers can get and set values in a data map just as you might save your game data using the Shared Preferences class provided by Android. WhisperSync for Games, however, is the first solution to offer auto-conflict resolution and queues updates when a device is offline. WhisperSync for Games abstracts data persistence, replacing the separate code developers often wrote to save to local and cloud storage. It also handles self-merging background synchronization with other Android devices. Its simple map-like interface enables you to get and set numbers and strings and to organize them in collections. In a recent study of more than 500 mobile games using in-app purchasing on Amazon, we found that those incorporating GameCircle's leaderboards and achievements monetize significantly better than other games. For the 3-month period from November 2012 to January 2013, games using GameCircle produced 38% higher conversion rates and 33% more in-app orders per paying customer than games that didn't use GameCircle. Conversion was measured by calculating the percentage of app users who made at least one in-app purchase. Combining the impact of both of these variables, GameCircle-enabled games earned 83% more average revenue per user, or ARPU, than non-GameCircle games. GameCircle also offers new discovery mechanisms on Kindle Fire devices that are an important factor in helping to drive increased engagement rates. For games that have integrated with GameCircle, players can see their friends, achievements, and leaderboard activity before launching the application, since all this information is visible right from the user's game library. Leading games such as Skylanders Cloud Patrol, Diner Dash, and Temple Run 2 have already integrated with GameCircle. The image below showcases how a user's library is populated with GameCircle metadata. This added visibility is a powerful engagement tool. A related study that we conducted in January 2013 found that, on average, games using GameCircle over-indexed on the number of player sessions by 32% when compared to the average for the entire games category. This means users open those applications about 1/3 more often than games in general. This is a critical advantage for freemium games, for example, that monetize by selling in-game content. The enhanced level of engagement contributes to an improvement in customer lifetime value. Now that we understand what GameCircle is and why we might use it, let's get started setting up our development environment. Before you can start developing mobile apps for Kindle Fire tablets, you must first set up your development environment. At a minimum, you need to install the Java Development Kit, or JDK, Android SDK, and Kindle Fire emulators. We also recommend using Eclipse, an open-source integrated development environment, or IDE. You can find more detailed information on Java, Eclipse, and Android at the link shown. Once you have Java and Eclipse installed, create an account on the Amazon Mobile App Distribution Portal. Log in to your new account to obtain access to the Game Services SDK and establish a security profile for your game. To use some game services provided by Amazon, including GameCircle, your app must securely identify itself. Security profiles enable this by associating OAuth credentials and API keys with your game. You can create multiple security profiles and share them among apps. If 2 apps share a profile, they share some types of data. For example, you may have a My App Free and a My App HD. If you apply a single security profile to both apps, data accessed by that profile is available to both of them. For a shared profile, choose a name that applies to both, for example, My Apps Profile. To allow Amazon to verify your game's identity and authorize it to use certain APIs, you'll be required to provide the MD5 fingerprint of the debug certificate key store used to sign your app. To obtain it, use the keytool command included in the Java development kit. Note that the default password for the debug key store is Android. Supply the MD5 fingerprint of your debug key store and package name associated with your game. If different versions of your game will be signed using different key stores or have different package names, each version requires its own API key. This is a common approach, for example, to create test and production versions of the game. GameCircle configurations store your leaderboard and achievement data and are linked to your security profiles. As mentioned a moment ago, multiple versions of a game can share data through the same security profile. You can test your leaderboard and achievement data before publishing it to players. While the data is in a draft state, only nicknames that you have entered in the game sandbox have access to those achievements or leaderboards. Please ensure nicknames are no longer than 20 characters and contain no spaces. Note that it may take up to 5 minutes after updating the sandbox before those nicknames are actually whitelisted by the GameCircle service. Next, include the GameCircle library in your project workspace. Extract the Game Services SDK you downloaded and import the Eclipse project it contains. In Eclipse, click File, then Import, then click Android. Click Existing Android code into Workspace, and then click Next. Inside the unpacked SDK, browse to the directory that includes the GameCircle SDK, and then click Finish. A new project will appear in your workspace called GameCircle SDK. Eclipse automatically determines the name of the project based on the name in the .project file. Once imported, the project shows up in your workspace under the same name, as illustrated. And finally, add a reference to the GameCircle library in your project. This enables you to compile your project against the GameCircle library and ensures that the GameCircle jars are packaged with your APK. Go to your project properties, click Android, and in the library section near the bottom of the screen, click Add. Select GameCircle SDK. Click OK. GameCircle provides support for native development with the Android NDK, as well as through Unity 3D. We'll cover these topics in future videos, but more information is available on the mobile app distribution portal. To use GameCircle in your Android game, several simple modifications to your manifest file are necessary. First, add Internet and Access Network state permissions to enable your game to connect to the GameCircle web service endpoint. Next, enable the GameCircle user interface display in your game for achievements and leaderboard UI, and implement Login with Amazon, a new service that enables more than 200 million active Amazon customers to securely and simply log into your game. Note, make sure to replace your package name here with your actual package name. To degrade GameCircle features gracefully on devices that may not support it, you can check for its availability in your game. When testing your GameCircle integration, an initialization status of Cannot Authorize may indicate that you haven't properly registered the package name and signature of the game build. Review the information presented on authenticating your game with Amazon GameCircle, and then try again. Your game should initialize the GameCircle client during onResume, passing the current activity for context, a callback function to handle initialization result codes, and an enum of the GameCircle features you intend to use in your game. Your customers see a list of GameCircle features in the welcome message when your game starts, and in your game's sign-in page. To avoid confusion, show only the features you actually support. GameCircle initialization happens asynchronously. When your game activity enters a pause state, release the GameCircle client to stop background GameCircle threads and suspend tally of the player's total time in game. Call the shutdown method if you don't intend to interact with the GameCircle SDK further. It must be initialized again if you change your mind and wish to make subsequent calls to it. You can create a maximum of 50 leaderboards. Make sure to leave room for future leaderboards that may be part of game extensions. Once a leaderboard has been published, it cannot be unpublished or deleted, only modified. Sign into your account on the Amazon mobile app distribution portal, then click the Apps and Services tab. Click the GameCircle tab. In the Leaderboards column, click the View link for a game. On the Leaderboards page for your game, click Add a Leaderboard. Enter the required information. display title, leaderboard ID, and description. Select a sort order, highest scores first or lowest scores first, and then browse to select an image for icon upload. Hit Save. Leaderboard names can be up to 50 characters, including spaces, and may contain only text and spaces. Leaderboard descriptions can be up to 1,000 characters, including spaces. Amazon will automatically shorten this text to fit the display area on occasion, so we recommend keeping names down to 25 characters and descriptions down to 48 characters to ensure the fields are displayed in their entirety throughout the UX. Leaderboard IDs are not displayed to players. They can contain numbers, letters, dashes, or underscores. Images should be provided in PNG format, 512 by 512 pixels in size, with no transparency. Upon submission, a mask with rounded corners on a transparent background will be applied to your leaderboard image. You can find the mask we use in the GameCircle resources directory of the SDK. To maintain a consistent customer experience and ensure correct messaging to customers, score units should be nouns only with no verbs. For example, score unit should be coins, zombies, or points, not coins earned, zombies killed, or points scored. If possible, score unit should be expressed with one word, but adjectives are fine, such as gold coins. You should round scores to whole numbers. After initializing Amazon GameCircle in your game, you can submit scores to the service. Scores must be positive numbers and strictly increasing. The service will ignore a score update that is lower than or equal to a player's current score. Your game can programmatically display an overlay to show its GameCircle leaderboards using the Show Leaderboards Overlay method of the Leaderboards client. To retrieve a list of your game's leaderboards, use the Get Leaderboards method. GameCircle leaderboards support 3 time filters: daily, weekly, and all time. Daily leaderboards are reset every day at midnight Pacific time, while weekly leaderboards are cleared every Saturday at midnight Pacific time. All-time leaderboards include the highest scores for each player since the leaderboard was created or reset. Resetting a draft leaderboard will clear its data for all nicknames registered in the sandbox. This operation is not available once a leaderboard has been published. Select the leaderboard you wish to reset and click the Edit action. Select Reset, and you will be asked to confirm that you wish to clear the leaderboard data, since this action isn't reversible. You must publish a leaderboard to make it available to all players and not just those who have been added to the sandbox. Sign into your account on the Amazon mobile app distribution portal and then click the Apps and Services tab. Click the GameCircle tab. In the Leaderboards column, click the View link for a game that has a draft leaderboard. In the Status column, select a leaderboard in draft status. When the box is selected, the label will change to Ready to Publish. You can select as many draft leaderboards as you wish. You'll be asked to confirm that you want to publish since publishing is not reversible. You can control the placement of leaderboard toasts in your game, choosing from top center and bottom center, which is the default. You can also suppress all toasts, as illustrated. There are a few best practices we recommend to get the most out of GameCircle leaderboards. The GameCircle summary screen always shows the first leaderboard in your list. Make sure that the first leaderboard has value to the overall game, rather than to a specific level or subsection. Provide descriptions that make it obvious to which part of the game each leaderboard pertains. Don't immediately create all 50 possible leaderboards. You may want to create some new leaderboards later for future game extensions. When creating your leaderboards, sort them in the overview list in the correct order. The order of leaderboards in the overview determines the order that customers will see them. To change the order of leaderboards, open the Amazon mobile app distribution portal and navigate to the leaderboards for your game. Hover your mouse pointer over the position column of each leaderboard line item to reveal a handle that you can drag and drop to a new position in the column. You can never delete a published leaderboard, since deleting a leaderboard that is visible to your customers would be disruptive to their experience. However, you can modify a published leaderboard. You can create a maximum of 100 achievements. Make sure to leave room for future achievements that may be part of a game extension. Once an achievement has been published, it cannot be unpublished or deleted. Sign into your account on the Amazon mobile app distribution portal and then click the Apps and Services tab. Click the GameCircle tab. In the Achievements column, click the View link for a game. On the Achievements page for your game, click Add an Achievement. Enter the required information for display title, achievement ID, lock description, and unlocked description. Select the yes or no radio box for hidden, then browse to select images for both locked icon upload and unlocked icon upload. Hit save. Achievement names are limited to 50 characters, including spaces, and may only contain text and spaces. Achievement descriptions can be up to 1,000 characters, including spaces. Since this data will be displayed in different areas throughout the UX, we'll shorten text automatically. We recommend you keep names down to 25 characters and descriptions down to 68 characters to ensure your text will appear in all places. 2 different descriptions are required for each achievement, one to be displayed before completion and one to be displayed once the objective has been obtained. Achievement IDs are not displayed to players. They can contain letters, numbers, dashes, or underscores. Images should be PNG format, 512 by 512 pixels in size, and contain no transparency. Upon submission, a circle mask with a transparent background will be applied to your achievement image. You can find the mask we use in the GameCircle resources directory of the SDK. After initializing Amazon GameCircle in your game, you can submit achievement updates to the service. Like a leaderboard update, you could set the callback on the return value if you want to process the result. Note the second parameter, which is a float value, specifying the completion percentage of the achievement. This percentage is strictly increasing, which means if you submit updates with lower values, they'll be ignored. Resetting a draft achievement will clear its data for all nicknames registered in the sandbox. Select the achievement you wish to reset and click the Edit action. Select Reset, and you'll be asked to confirm that you wish to clear the achievement data, since this action isn't reversible. To make achievements available to your customers, you must publish them. Sign in to your account on the Amazon mobile app distribution portal, and then click the Apps and Services tab. Click the GameCircle tab. In the Achievements column, click the View link for a game that has draft achievements. In the Status column, select an achievement in draft status. When the box is selected, the label will change to Ready to Publish. You can select as many draft achievements as you wish. At the bottom of the page, click Start Publishing. Confirm that you wish to publish, and all selected achievements will be published. Once published, an achievement cannot be unpublished or deleted, though it can be modified. Keep these best practices in mind when integrating GameCircle achievements. Don't immediately create all 100 achievements available. You may want to create some new achievements later for future game extensions. The order of achievements matters. GameCircle will display the next achievement that the player hasn't completed as a suggested achievement to attempt, so list achievements in the order that players are likely to unlock them. To change the order of achievements, open the Amazon mobile app distribution portal and navigate to the Achievements link for your game. Hover your mouse pointer over the position column of each achievement line item to reveal a handle that you can drag and drop to a new position in the column. You can never delete a published achievement. Deleting an achievement that is visible to your customers would be too disruptive to their experience, but you can modify a published achievement. Achievements motivate players to continue playing, but if players can't see an achievement or know what they need to do to accomplish it, the benefit is lost. Provide descriptions that tell the player how to earn the achievement. Hints rather than explicit directions are fine, but the less information the player has, the less incentive they have to earn the achievement. Without instructions, reaching an achievement can feel like luck rather than skill. Use hidden achievements sparingly and generally for things that a player is going to accomplish in the normal course of play. Every achievement should have 2 descriptions. The first description is for when the achievement is locked. The second is for when it's unlocked. Use the unlocked description to praise the player for success and explain what the player did to earn the achievement. Use a different graphic for the locked and unlocked versions of the achievements. The graphics should be similar but have a common element that differentiates locked from unlocked achievements. For example, use grayscale or a different color background for the locked version of graphics. This enables players to distinguish earned achievements easily when doing side-by-side comparisons with other players. Place achievements throughout the game. Let the player earn their first achievements by completing the tutorial or early levels, earn other achievements as they progress through the normal course of play, and have an achievement for completing the game. Offer a good mix of difficulties for unlocking achievements. Players should earn a few achievements relatively easily, but having a few achievements that require significant skill or effort will encourage replay and reward completionists. WhisperSync for Games enables you to get and set values in a data map, just as you might use the Android Shared Preferences class, though WhisperSync is the first solution to offer auto-conflict resolution and queue updates when a device is offline. The Game Data Map interface enables you to get and set numbers and strings, and to organize them in collections. Prior to WhisperSync for Games, many developers implemented separate methods to store game data to disk and to cloud. WhisperSync replaces this approach and provides the added benefit of self-merging background synchronization with the cloud and other Android devices. Saving and retrieving values is straightforward. Simply use the accessors on Game Data Map to obtain a syncable object, then use its getters and setters to manipulate the data. WhisperSync uses a background thread to merge data automatically, but you can force synchronization by calling the synchronize method. Passive sync events occur anytime you change your game data. These sync events are batched and throttled to conserve network bandwidth and battery life. Regardless of throttling, local storage is always synced. WhisperSync stores local game data in your application's storage space in an obfuscated text file. Throttling does not cause data to be lost. The customer's data is synced on the next active or passive sync attempt. When throttling occurs, a callback is made to WhisperSync Event Listener on throttled. When debugging, it may be helpful to set a WhisperSync Event Listener and override its methods to track specific types of data transfer. This isn't required for normal operation, however. WhisperSync for Games offers many types of syncable objects and several strategies for resolving conflicts. Model your game data by using these basic types. Add new values simply by retrieving them by name. If they don't exist, they'll be created on the fly and synchronized from that point on. To verify operation, sign into your game on a test device. Play your game until you hit a milestone that you've associated with a syncable event, such as reaching a new level. Save and close the game, and on the device, navigate to Android's Settings page and clear your game's data. Sign into the game and observe whether the game presents the correct level. Keep these best practices in mind when implementing WhisperSync for Games. The best customer experience is to enable your customers to sync consumables. If you worry that some players will use in-game currency to make multiple offline purchases, add code to determine if a device is offline and then block offline purchases. Don't store personally identifiable information by using WhisperSync for Games. Amazon may revoke your access to GameCircle if you use WhisperSync to store any data other than game metadata. Calling WhisperSync client flush forces game data to be written to the device's file system. You don't need to call flush each time you change your game data because changes are automatically persisted to local storage via a background thread. However, if you know your app is about to close, calling flush will save your game data by performing a blocking write to the file system. Store binary data such as a byte array to a string by using base64, and then use the syncable string data type to store the data in WhisperSync. Do not use device-specific formatting for your data, as WhisperSync can synchronize across different Android devices.